Dana White has finally reached his breaking point, and the shock of it is rippling through the entire MMA landscape. After nearly 20 years of navigating chaos, controversies, dominance, disappearances, broken promises, sudden retirements and comebacks, and every headline Jon Jones has ever generated, Dana has reportedly made the most decisive internal move of his career, according to multiple sources. This isn't just something he's said behind closed doors. It's a stance he has already begun enforcing quietly but firmly. A stance that shuts the door on the Jon Jones era for good, and throws the heavyweight division into absolute turmoil. Jon Jones is done in the UFC. Not temporarily, not until further notice. Permanently, and the timing, the reasoning, the explosive frustration behind it all. It comes down to one storyline. The storyline that has shadowed the heavyweight division for a year and a half. The storyline Jon Jones has tried to downplay, ignore, mock, and bury under layers of excuses. The storyline Dana White simply refuses to tolerate any longer. The Tom Aspinall saga. Dana bent over backward to give Jon Jones everything he wanted. A custom-built heavyweight debut, a vacant title shot, top-tier marketing, special negotiations, protection from bad matchups. More leverage than any fighter in UFC history, and when the moment finally arrived to prove he truly ruled the heavyweight division, when fans begged for the Jon Jones vs. Tom Aspinall super fight, when Aspinall showed up, trained year-round, made no excuses, defended the interim belt with pride, and was ready for the biggest fight of the decade, Jon Jones vanished. No updates. No training footage. No real negotiations. No timeline. Nothing. Dana defended him for as long as he could. He told the media to be patient, assured fans that things were progressing, and insisted the fight was coming together, behind the scenes. But all of that collapsed. The moment Jon Jones blew up the biggest heavyweight deal that UFC had ever constructed, the moment he turned down an offer that insiders claim was the largest single fight purse in UFC history. Bigger than McGregor, bigger than Khabib, bigger than Brock Lesnar. A deal engineered specifically to get Jones in the cage with Aspinall, and Jon still refused. He refused through silence, by disappearing again, by stepping away from the only negotiation that mattered, and by dragging out his career in a way that left Dana White publicly embarrassed after promising fans a war that Jon Jones clearly never intended to take.
Jon Jones is even willing to be there.
He's willing to come out of retirement.
Are you saying no to Jones? What's the...
I haven't said yes or no to anybody yet, but I can't put Jon Jones in a position where he can,
Right. You can't let this get canceled.
I had a deal with him. We had a deal to fight Tom Aspinall. He said, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah. I can't be in that position. I got to have some.
Just wondered, at this point, is there anything in the next few months or several months that Jon could do where you could say, okay, I actually trust him to put him on that card?
Let me ask you, what do you think Jon would do in the next couple of months that would make me trust putting him on the White House card?
Well, I would not trust him, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall on that card down the road.
So I already said that I don't trust him, and you're asking me what could he do for me to trust him in the next 3 months? You don't trust him.
Well, yes, but you talk to him. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't talk to him either. I haven't talked to him at all.
Well, there's a greater chance you'll talk to him than I'll talk to him.
Yeah. I would not bet on, if I had to make odds, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that I put Jon Jones on the White House card.
All right, I think that ends the questions on.
Yeah.
You said Jon Jones called you.
Well, it wasn't a conversation. He reached out to me and apologized, saying, listen, sorry how this all played out or whatever. I want to fight at the White House. I'm serious about that.
Has that changed your view?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
So there's no chance he's going to
No,
be.
I appreciate him reaching out and doing that, but I need people I can count on for this fight, and I know who they are.
Can't wait to see you compete at the White House. Can't wait to see it.
I know. I really hope it happens. Dana, bro, please, I'm training. I feel great. I'm healthy. And I'd be so honored to represent our country and do what I do best.
News broke about Tom Aspinall's serious and doctor-verified eye injury, the kind of damage that could jeopardize a fighter's long-term vision and career. The MMA world rallied around him. Everyone could see this wasn't a case of quitting or weakness. It was a legitimate medical emergency. And then, almost on cue, Jon Jones suddenly reappeared, after spending a full year sidestepping questions, avoiding negotiations, and staying silent about He instantly became the loudest voice online. He mocked Aspinall, joked about the injury, dismissed the stoppage, and labeled him soft, saying everything except the one thing he refused to admit. He avoided Aspinall when Aspinall was healthy. That, according to insiders, was the breaking point for Dana White. From Dana's vantage point, Jon Jones didn't just decline a fight. He derailed the entire heavyweight chapter the UFC had been building toward. He ruined the promotion's chance to deliver a historic super fight. He sabotaged the marquee main event Dana had been preparing for the White House card, an event requiring presidential-level planning, security, coordination, and months of logistics. And when Jon Jones suddenly started begging publicly to be part of that event, acting like he was eager, prepared, and loyal to the UFC, Dana White drew the line. Jon Jones would not headline the White House card. Not now. Not ever. Not under Dana White's leadership. Dana was done with the constant flip-flopping, the communication blackouts, the sudden retirements, the contradictions, and the public blame and especially done with watching Jon take shots at Tom Aspinall. After avoiding the one matchup that could have settled everything inside the octagon. This time, the consequences weren't vague or whispered. They weren't hidden, softened, or left open to interpretation. Dana White cut ties completely, because the truth is obvious to the fans, to fighters, to analysts, to the entire MMA community. If Jon Jones truly believed Aspinall was fragile, overrated, or an easy matchup, he would have signed the deal. He would have taken the historic payday, entered the cage, and defended his legacy instead of letting it fade under the weight of his own indecision. But he didn't, and Dana White finally decided he wasn't going to cover for him anymore. What ultimately pushed Dana over the edge wasn't just the refusal to face Aspinall. It wasn't the insults after Aspinall's injury. It wasn't even the collapse of the White House super event. It was the realization that Jon Jones had crossed a line Dana White could no longer justify, defend, or overlook.
Allowing himself to be missed very much, because the moment he left, he came right back. And by the way, I have no problem with all of this. We never had a problem with any of this. It was the fact that he was holding up the division, holding up the belt. Everyone said, please stick around. Stick around as long as you want. Just give up the title so other people can realize their dreams. Fun fights, one-off fights, legacy fights, super fights, all day. You're bigger than the title. Jon Jones is bigger than the UFC heavyweight title. He's bigger than any title. There's only a couple of guys who are bigger than the title. Jon being one. If Tom would have beaten Jon, the fact that he beat Jon would be bigger than him becoming UFC heavyweight champion.
Situation looked like Curtis Blaydes came to beat Tom Aspinall up that night. Tom throws a kick and magically gets hurt. I would expect a fighter to at least attempt to stand back up or at least limp. And with Tom, he was just completely out of the fight. And his last situation was Cyril Gane. He gets poked in the eye. Normally you see fighters that are doing this number, trying to get the doctor to look at it. And actually, initially the doctor's just like, he seems fine. Tom's like, no, I can't see. I can't. The guy wasn't trying to see. Yeah. The guy didn't want to see. The eye that he was covering appeared to be the eye that actually didn't get penetrated. One eye finger goes all the way underneath the eyelid. The other eye, it was on top of the eyelid. And he ends up grabbing the eye where the finger was on top of the eyelid. I don't even think Tom really knew which eye was supposed to be more compromised. He just knew that he had been fouled and it was his way out. So that alone shows me a little bit what's behind the facade of this whole Tom Aspinall character.
And he's waiting around for Jon Jones for a whole year, over a year. Career on hold. Despite the fact that he told everyone, look, this guy ain't going to fight me. He's going to retire before he'll fight me. So you might as well just give me the title now. But unfortunately, the UFC, they wanted to believe that their GOAT was the man that they bigged him up to be. And they were wrong. And after working his whole life to become UFC heavyweight champion, this was the way it was announced.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
All right, Dana, calm down. Don't get too excited. And that was in the middle of the night in some random-ass UFC press conference. No ceremony, no celebration, no congratulations, Tom. We've got the best young fighter in the world. It was as if no one gave a fuck from the UFC. It was so bad. And I get Dana was pissed because he'd been made to look a fool by Jon Jones, but that was never Tom Aspinall's fault. Tom just wanted to fight the best guy he possibly could. And you'd think MMA fans would love that. There's a fighter who's trying to fight the best, wants to win the title, wants to defend the title and be an active heavyweight champion, something we've not had in God knows how long in the UFC. But no, because Jon Jones weirdly has a lot of fans who want to see him protected and not get his chin smashed to bits, they supported the guy who ran away from the fight and trashed Tom consistently. What a weird fan base.
For years, Dana White has been willing to overlook scandals, legal trouble, ugly headlines, broken talks, and chaotic behavior, but this time, the situation crossed a line he refuses to ignore. In his eyes, Jon Jones committed the one offense worse than all the rest, hurting the UFC's path forward while pretending to be the center of its future. Tom Aspinall represented everything the heavyweight division needed. A rising champion, the fans rallied behind a fighter respected by his peers. Someone willing to take late-notice bouts, backup roles, and high-pressure assignments without drama. While Jon Jones drifted in and out of the spotlight, Aspinall became the heavyweight Dana White believed he could rely on for the next 5 years. Dana trusted Tom with major events, trusted him with the media, trusted him to carry himself professionally, and Tom delivered every time. No scandals, no excuses, no hiding, just showing up and beating the best heavyweights alive. So when Aspinall suffered that brutal, medically verified eye injury, an injury caused by multiple foul pokes, Dana White expected fighters, especially veterans, to acknowledge what Tom endured. Instead, Jon Jones seized that moment, Tom's lowest moment, to mock him. He laughed at the injury, downplayed the stoppage, and painted Aspinall as someone who quit, even as doctors confirmed the severity of the damage. Jon Jones didn't treat an injury as a tragedy. He treated it as ammunition. He turned a medical emergency into a punchline. He spun Tom's suffering into an opportunity to reshape the narrative and dodge criticism for sidestepping the fight to begin with, and Dana White saw it immediately. Jon wasn't mocking Aspinall because he believed Tom quit, but because the injury relieved him of the pressure to ever face him. Dana White's patience is gone. His trust is gone. His decision is made. Jon Jones will not headline the White House event. Jon Jones will not return to negotiations. Jon Jones will not headline another UFC card. For the first time in his career, Jon Jones isn't sidelined by injury or suspended by a commission. He is being phased out by the UFC itself, exiled by the one man who once defended him above everyone else.